What's up, guys? Ram Fan Drew here, baby, with another episode of the Rams Fan Drew podcast, baby. Woo! Let's give a shout out to the Los Angeles Rams, baby, for that victory over the 49ers, baby. 27-24, baby. Shout out to the Rams. Whose house? Rams house. Wow, man. So I made this episode a little bit earlier because tomorrow I'm not going to have time. So I thought I'd make it switch up my background a little bit too because I usually have it over there, kind of in the middle. But on this side, I have like most of my RAM stuff. So I was like, you know what? Victory, Victory Tuesday, baby. Victory Tuesday. Let's go. Shout out to the Rams. So I'm going to talk about what I thought about the game, some performances, some things that I just saw that were key areas, some of the keys to the game, and then what to look forward moving forward. And then I'm going to cover the matchup with the Bears this Sunday, 10 o'clock in Chicago. So, all right, let's start off first. Offensively, start off a little slow, but you can see the difference, guys. You can see the absolute difference that an offensive line can make when they're healthy. Now, this combination is the best combination. Cross our fingers, they stay healthy. Is the best combination that we can possibly have moving forward until Steve Avila and Joe Jackson come back. But Bo Limmer, shout out to Bo Limmer, man. Rookie comes in, he's been amazing at center to the point where it's just like, man, the Rams have, some pretty good backups. Logan Brush, shout out to Logan Brush, who stepped in at left guard, who was an absolute bust in the making the first 3 years, or 2 years, I should say, and has been developing behind the scenes and had an amazing preseason, which he really needed to have. And I felt confident going into this game, like I told you guys last week. Logan Bruss at left guard, but Arlick Jackson returning was absolutely huge, man. I don't know if you guys seen the game or broke down the game film or kind of did some studying. Now that the game is over and the emotions are kind of more down now, but Bosa did not even come near Stafford all game. The Rams kept that 49ers pass rush on check, guys. And that was due to the offensive line performance. Logan Brush can handle left guard. We got big old Kevin Doxson at right guard, who's originally a starter, all pro. And then big old reliable Rob Heavenstein to go along with Arlick Jackson at left tackle and Bo Limmer at center. That was the best offensive line, the best protection Stafford had all season. It's only been 3 games, man. But that is the best protection Stafford's had throughout the first 3 games. And that made a huge difference in the running game. Obviously, the Rams went a lot 12 personnel instead of 11 personnel, which I expected them to do, which I said on my previous video. I was like, hey, I expect the Rams to come in with more tight ends, and possibly be focusing on running the ball. Big shout out to Kyron Williams, who is the next great Rams running back. I kind of wanted to see if he can keep up another season before I kind of made that claim on him. But the Rams have a history of great running backs, dating back to Jerome Bettis, Eric Dickerson, Marshall Faulk, Steven Jackson, Todd Gurley. Now we have Kyron Williams. So for me, guys, it's just one of those things where it's just like the Rams came out and played physical offensively. It was a little slow to start, but that's because we didn't really have much offensive possessions. Finally got it going. Stafford was being Stafford out there, being a freaking magician out there, man. So shout out to him. Big old Demarcus Robinson right there. Shout out to him. But Tutu Atwell is the guy that I told you guys to watch out for. I told you guys last week, I was like, people underestimate Tutu. Last year, he had to step up and play a lot, and he was top 5 in all categories. He was top 5 with Puka for like the first 3 games of the season last year. So a lot of people underestimate Tutu Atwell, and he showed up again, and he showed up big. The Rams need to continuously use Tutu Atwell. With the unknown of Cooper Kupp coming back next season, I think the Rams, if they don't have Cooper Kupp come back next season, I still think the Rams should give Tutu another contract, and this time give him a chance to ball out because this guy is a baller. First season, I didn't really see it, guys. I was one of those people. He kind of looked like he's struggling against press. It looked like he kept dropping passes when couldn't make those contested catches, all that stuff. He got better year after year, and he's a complete receiver. He can be a dominant slot receiver. He showed it. He's a deep threat. He's the most dynamic receiver we have, even with Puka and Cup out there. He really is, because he adds something that the defense doesn't see with those two guys, that speed. The Rams really have to utilize him. Jordan Williamson looks solid too, but Tutu stole the show. Marcus made some plays. Tyler Johnson made some plays. But overall, man, I just think the Rams are starting to find their way offensively. Took some time, but we're slowly getting there. It just needs the offensive line needs to stay healthy. Defensively, the key to the game, like I said, was to stop the run or minimize it. Force Brock Purdy to be an MVP Brock Purdy. Force Brock Purdy to beat you. Brock Purdy, I'm not a fan of Brock Purdy because I'm a hater. I'm not going to sit there and lie to you guys. I'm a hater of Brock Purdy, but he's in the perfect system. So that's what makes him Purdy. That's what makes him a star in that offense. And that's not bad to say, because I mean, look at Sam Darnold, what he's doing in Minnesota. He's in the perfect scheme for him, around with the perfect weapons. Look at Jared Goff when he finally had the people around him in the perfect scheme with the Rams, and then now with Detroit. Look at Baker Mayfield. Like, you know what I mean? It's about system, guys. So I cannot hate on Purdy for that. But I don't think Purdy is an MVP player, but we forced him to be. And if I lose to Brock Purdy throwing 400 yards or 300 yards and 5 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, whatever the case may be, I will live and die by that if I'm an opposing team, rather than losing by getting just beat up on the ground game, to be honest. So I'm going to just make that very clear right now. Brock Purdy, shout out to you. I will give you your flowers, man. You did your shit, even with limited weapons. But the Rams did stop the run. We had some slow starts. They were popping off 3-4 yard gains, but we started showing up. We started, the defense started actually punishing the 49ers offensive line. They kept penetrating the line. Even when Brock Purdy was dropping back to pass, they were like forcing Brock Purdy to move in the pocket and move around and everything like that. So shout out to the defensive line. Linebackers Troy Reader and Christian Roseboom had a way better game. But they're still not what we need them to be just yet. So I do want to see, Omar step in at one point this season, hopefully. But either way, though, like, the defensive line did its job. We got after Purdy. Purdy lit us up in the air, but that's because the secondary is injured, guys. Secondary has been a weakness for us this season, and it was supposed to be a strength. Tre'Davious White didn't really get burned, but, Kobe Durant kept getting burnt. Jennings just fucking turned into Randy Moss on us. He was mossing everybody back there. All the DBs were getting mossed by him. But every game so far has been a receiver that's been, fucking us up. So we really need to get Ahkello Witherspoon back on that field. I don't know, man. I've been trying to study. I've been trying to look up some stuff. I've not found anything as to why this guy hasn't played yet. But we need to get Ahkello Witherspoon out there, for crying out loud. We need him really bad. Once he gets back out there, I don't know if it's a how thing. I don't know if they're trying to get him in football shape. I don't know what it is. But we need to get him out there. Because you get him out there, Durant can be your 3 finally, and he can relax, be comfortable in the slot. And then, Tre'Davious White doesn't have to be forced to try to cover everybody's number 1. Ahkello could take that spot. And we're going to get Darius Williams back. I read by the Packers game, I thought it was going to come back after the bye week. But apparently he's coming back, for the Panthers game. So, Packers game, my bad. I'm all stuttering right now, just thinking. But either way, though, the Rams secondary by the bye week should be healthy and ready again to go, and shouldn't be having those explosive plays. We shouldn't be getting teared up through the air. But until we get there, and until these defensive guys, I don't know if it's a scheme thing. I don't know if it's a coaching thing. I don't know what it's got to be, man. But until we limit that, defense is going to still struggle, though. But either way, though, man, Byron Young, shout out to Byron Young, man. He's been having, we can't even count the Cardinal game as a real game so far this season, man. No one did good in that Cardinal game. So it's basically a 2-game performance that you could judge people off. And those two games I'm judging him off of, Detroit and San Francisco, man, he was going against Trent Williams and that 49ers offensive line, man. Well, shout out to Byron Young. He was out there cracking people. He was out there freaking lighting people up in the run game. He was out there bringing pressure. Byron Young is showing that he is that guy and that people need to put respect on his name. And he's going to only continue to get better because the Rams have not had a lot of opportunities to rush the passer this season because we've been down a lot of these games and stuff like that. But as the season progresses and we continuously get better, I think they're going to get more opportunities. And Robert Young is just going to light the season up. I think he's going to be a 10-plus sack guy for us. Jared Verse had a good game again, but you can tell him and Braden Frisk struggle with these quarterbacks. This isn't college where they're going to outrun these guys and just, and get these guys. They're taking bad angles. They're missing tackles on the run game when they're blowing people up, but they're missing these tackles because they're taking wrong angles. That can be coached, that can be fixed, and that's only going to get them better as time goes. These games are going to go by. They're going to learn. They're going to continuously learn, and I think they're going to start to get it. But if Jared Verse and Braden Frisk can become just a little bit more patient, a little bit more, on their cues and really just more taking better angles and just taking a better approach to the game, I think they're gonna start to really see like, okay, we can do this. So Pro Football Focus has them ranked pretty good. They've been winning and they've been beating offensive linemen up this season. It's just they just haven't put it together. So that's coming, guys. That's coming. The Bears offensive line has struggled this year. So I do see a potential big game from the defensive line this week, which I'll talk about that right now. But again, what needed to happen happened in this game. It really is the truth. What needed to happen happened in this game. We needed to be physical. We needed to play with heart, and we did. We played like we had nothing to lose. We played with heart, and we won. 49ers didn't come in and underestimate us. They came in there and played hard, and we just a little itchy right there. They played hard, and we did it, man. We did it. So I don't want to hear, we're missing Debo, we're missing CMC, we're missing uh, George Kittle. Yeah, I understand that, but your offense still lit us up. So that didn't really even matter. And at the same time, though, Kittle, Debo, CMC, they don't miss kicks for you guys. They don't play defense for you guys. Defensively, you guys are pretty healthy. You guys are the fucking 49ers, man. You guys always play physical with us on defense, and we beat you guys. You guys came home crying from SoFi. You guys talk a lot of shit, man. Us Rams fans deserve it, man. So shout out to the Rams fans. Fuck you, Niners. It's about SoFi Rams house, baby. Now, I just want to give a shout out to special teams, man. I've been waiting years to be able to give a shout out to special teams, man. Wow. Sorry, I'm moving a lot, guys. My back is all stiff from freaking, man. I do labor and stuff, man, so my back's all messed up. But wow, man. Wow. It's been a long time since I've been able to say this as a Ram fan. Special teams, man. It's been a long time since I've been able to say the Rams have a good special teams. It's been since the John Fossil days, man, since we had a good special teams. When's the last time you seen the Rams make a fake punt or a fake kick? Like, you don't see that no more. So the fact that McVay surprised everybody and made that fake punt that changed the momentum of the game was huge. Ethan Evans was a steal last year for us at punter, and he's looking incredible so far this year. He hasn't shanked no punts or any of that. He's looking incredible. He's going to be our punter for years to come, and I said that last season. He's been the best punter we've had since Johnny Hekker, literally since Johnny Hekker, because he was right after Johnny Hekker. But like, he's going to be our Johnny Hekker, the guy who takes us to this level. He even does kickoff returns for us. And then we haven't had a kicker since Matt Gay, guys. Matt fucking Gay. And the fact that Josh Carty has been so clutch for us, man, in these games, and he was coming in injured, and he went in there, pressure on everything was on the line. Rookie came in there and made the game-winning kick, guys. He's been so freaking clutch. He's so accurate, and he's got a good freaking leg. He is going to be the kicker for us for a very long time, and he's the best kicker we've had since Matt Gay, man. You know what I mean? And hopefully he can be here long-term like Greg Zuerlein was. So shout out to that, man. We have Alex Ward as a long snapper. We have 3 young guys in our special teams unit that we can literally build for years to come, and we don't have to worry about that position. But one of the guys I said, man, I said this in my first freaking video. You guys know this, man. If you were a fan or you were watching this, you know I said this. I said Xavier Smith should have made the roster, should have been the day one punt returner. Instead, the Rams didn't. They were too deep at receiver for whatever reason. They just didn't. I don't know what it is, but they thank God we kept him in the practice squad, put him up. I said it, man. I was like, man, Xavier Smith, if he can get in a punt return, he's going to make some fucking noise. And he did that. He made some freaking noise, man. On that one return, the Rams need to keep Xavier Smith, not just this year, but for years to come. If you could, 1 year contracts every year. I don't care what it is. You need to keep him as long as possible because he's our best punt returner that we've had since Brandon Powell. Literally, we need this guy. When's the last time the Rams have had a complete special teams unit, man? We've been trash in coverage. We've been trash on everything when it comes down to special teams for these last few years. We went through like 3 different special teams coordinators in like the last 3 seasons. It's been bad. It's been brutal. We went through like 4 kickers last year. Like, it's been bad. The fact that we have a kicker, the fact that we have a punter, the fact that we have a long snapper, the fact that we have a returner in Xavier Smith, the fact that Blake Corum even showed that he can return kicks when he did in Arizona and he was explosive. Blake Corum is our kickoff returner. The fact that we have a kickoff returner that at any given moment can take it. The fact that we have a punt returner at any given moment that can take it. The fact that we have special teams that's willing to make trick plays now. The Rams haven't had this since their Super Bowl years in 2018. So this is huge for us, man. It's slowly coming together. It hasn't been there, but it's slowly coming together, Rams fans. Offensive line is slowly getting there. We got 3 out of 5 starters, but we're there. Our tackles are the most important. We have guards and centers for days. We don't have tackles, so we need to keep them healthy. We got to cross our fingers, but things are looking up. The offensive line is literally looking good. It's going to allow us to do things. 12 personnel is going to allow us to be more flexible and allow us to run the ball more and allow us to do more things with our tight ends, which is a strength of position even without Higbee. It's going to allow us to do more things. So we're going to be able to put up points, consistently move the ball with this offense. And the offensive line, our special teams is going to be good for us, and it's going to be a game changer for us this season. And